Aloha, this is Megan Hernandez, and I'm giving a victim impact testimonial on Chanel Garcia. I first met Chanel through her sister Dion, and we were hanging out at the mall. We were planning to hang out, and Dion asked me if she could bring her sisters along, and of course I said yes. And I realized then and there just how close these girls are to each other. And that led to many childhood memories of my brother and I going over to the Garcia household. We would ride our skateboards down to their house. They were maybe like half a mile away. And we would go and play and sing and bake and laugh and read books and have sleepovers. And we spent so much time at the Garcia household just enjoying such free characters that the Garcia sisters were. Um, Chanel always inspired us when we would play karaoke. We just knew she had a gift. And none of us even wanted to pretend that we could be who Chanel was. She was her own beautiful, amazing being. And knowing Chanel through the years, some of the adjectives that come to mind: she was always silly and loving and playful, innocent, hopeful, romantic, non-judgmental, empathetic, sensitive. She was a great listener. She would give her heart and soul and expect nothing back. She would laugh with you. She would cry with you. And I know that Chanel and all of her sisters were inseparable in spirit and were close through the ups and downs, through the good times and the bad. They always had each other, and that was such a comfort to know that even if my friends were in a hard time, that they had their sisters to cry with, to laugh with, to be with. And when I found out about Chanel's critical condition, I felt it wasn't possible that she would be taken away. I felt that there was no way that the Chanel sisters could be broken up, that this just couldn't be true. She's needed by her family, her friends, her pack. If you know Chanel, you know she is a wolf sister and that she was with her dogs and they were her family. And I just couldn't imagine all of these people being impacted in such a way from losing this light and love being. And unfortunately, due to reckless behavior and not of her own accordance, Chanel is not with us anymore, and it hurts because I know that Chanel didn't do anything to be the recipient of this terrible tragedy. She was riding in broad daylight. She was stopped at a stoplight. And I know Chanel, and I know that she would be careful, and it's not like she was riding at night in 70 miles an hour, wet, rainy conditions. And that's what hurts the most, is that even though she did her duty as a responsible rider, that she had to deal with the consequence of someone else's decisions. I can't imagine what it would be like to lose a sibling. Chanel is a good friend of mine and I consider her a sister, but I have no idea how this has truly impacted her family and her sisters. Like I said, I never imagined the Garcia sisters without Chanel, and knowing that she was taken away from them just breaks my heart, because they were always together. Chanel is such a free spirit. She practiced archery. She howled with the dogs and the wolves. She loved her motorcycle. She had an amazing voice, and She was always seeking nature. She was always living and loving to the fullest. And knowing what condition that Chanel was in, I know that it's not fair to expect her to stay. It's not something that would have correlated with her previous life of living to the fullest. But I do know that Chanel and her loving spirit has continued to inspire all of us and always will. And there's not a day that I don't think about Chanel in the simplest things that I might be doing, whether it's gardening, cooking, laughing with friends, drinking a nice cup of coffee, reading poetry, being with my dog. All of these things, they remind me of Chanel because she was that kind of person who never took life for granted. And she loved these simple moments, these little treasures of life. And I am thankful for her because living in her memory reminds me that I need to also be thankful for the simple moments. And I'm thankful for Chanel, and I'm so sorry that this is what it takes to have a reminder like that. But I know that Chanel was very loved. I know that she was full of love, and I know there are a lot of people, myself included, that are forever impacted by the loss of her. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Aloha.